so freaking bad. Wrestle me.
Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 125, World Class, with the Juice, which is myself, and Sretton. He's that bozo over there, whichever way it is. I don't know how it is on these things. We have two very, very special guests. They are the World Tag Team Champions for MLW. That's Major League Wrestling. They are Ross and Marshall Foderick.
That's right. That's right.
That was the greatest intro ever.
I got chills. I don't know if you can see him right now.
Yeah, that was insane.
Shoot. We need to do our intro.
I know.
Hell yeah. I'm totally down anytime, man.
Oh, man.
So how you boys doing?
Pretty good. We're just got back from the gym. We went swimming a little bit. Just taking it easy today. Getting ready
for just another day for us. Looking forward to the restart, and get back in the ring a little bit. So just trying to stay in shape.
Cannot wait.
Speaking of the restart, I mean, Court's been working his ass off to secure distribution or TV rights deals on various streaming platforms. So you guys, MLW is going to be all over the place like never before, which is very cool for you guys. And Sretton and I are huge fans of the product. As I was telling you guys off air, I was there when you guys won the tag team championships. Pretty much every show they've done in Cicero, I think, except for one I've been to, and it's a great time, a great crowd. And MLW, I love that they call the show fusion because it's a mix of all these different styles of professional wrestling, and there's something that draws me in and makes me feel like it is its own unique beast, but there's something throwback about it. It reminds me of maybe watching. I'm not saying it's straight up like WCW or anything like that, but I get those vibes of watching a different product that's on a different level from everybody else. ECW was back in the day, you're watching wrestling, but something feels really, really special about it. And that's how I feel about MLW. We've been fortunate enough to have a plethora of talent on the show, and adding you guys it's just another feather in our caps. So thank you, boys.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. And I totally agree with you. That guy, Court, man, he was like a savior to us in a way. He came in at just an awesome time and gave us something that was more than we could ask for. We wanted to stay in Hawaii and still wrestle, but we weren't sure if that was in the cards. We weren't going to go to WWE, and then this came, and it was. Did
WWE offer something to you guys, or
they offered us a tryout, and it was like a week before we went. We both talked to each other, and it's 350 nights out of the year. It can be up to be that, and family to us is important. Coming from my dad's story and stuff, and so we really, I think family is more important, especially in this time. And we got a lot of nieces and nephews, got kids, wives, and and have to move out there would be a pretty big change. It probably would have been just us too. So we really thought about it, and then MLW came up at the perfect timing. It was Court, and it restarted everything for us. We felt like we've finally gotten to a point where we want to show what we have and show what we're made of, and they came at the perfect time. We've never been hungrier, but Court, the kind of guy he is, like you were saying, he's just always busy, always trying to make things happen for MLW. And he's like the best leader to have in the locker room. He'll give us pump up speeches before shows. Like all of us it's like a football team thing.
Yeah, really.
And you want to run through a wall for the guy. Every guy in there really does love him, has a relationship with them, and he lets everybody be themselves. He doesn't. He's not telling you who to be or who to act like. And so I think that's why it has that organic, old school fusion of everything, a mix of everything. Either the luchadors, they bring Japanese guys. You have the big giants like Fatu, Simon Gotch, Tom Lawler. These technical fighters, low key, a guy that we've always looked up to.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got the generation guys, Pillman, the Harts, Smith. It's really a very awesome place to be.
And to throw you guys in the mix, and it makes it even better. And that's another key element, I believe, with MLW is you mentioned traditional guys, or generational guys, and that tradition of. We talked to a wrestler by the name of Mecha Wolf. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Last week, and he's talking about the differences in cultures in Puerto Rico and Mexico, the wrestling cultures, and in Mexico, lucha libre is very sacred, and he's like. If I'm a wrestler, I'm a luchador, odds are my sons and their sons are going to follow suit. It's taken very seriously.
Yeah, that's how it is.
And in the States and beyond, as we're all aware with like the Hart family and stuff, there's a lot of wrestling families. And man, you guys are like top tier when it comes to the Von Erichs. And so for you boys to be doing your thing and serving your family proud and kind of, turning the tragic story into a more positive, putting a more positive spin on it, which is fucking awesome, by the way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, thanks for saying that. Honestly,
yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
What we're shooting for.
That's what we're shooting for. Our family, we didn't pick our last name, and so the beginning of our career, and we went to Japan. They don't want you to be entitled. If you feel entitled at all, they'll beat it out of you. And so we know that our name is just a blessing, but we feel like by honoring it, we have to at least go out there and go as hard as we can, because my grandfather, my dad, all of his brothers, they fought with this last name under the name Von Erich, and so it's like a thing we take with like honor, and we just don't want to between us. It sounds bad, like shame our family, but we want to put their hard work to shame. They all the buildings that they sold out. The first time we made an event, it rocked us, like just mentally, like whoa, people are here to see us, and it just changed wrestling for us, because we had to wrestle like main eventers, and in Japan the main events were crazy, and that was all we knew. These guys were going to the hospital after matches and stuff, and so we were just like, we got to give it everything we have, and it's just been nothing but just fun. I get to do it with my brother too, so it's an awesome time.
And that's tight. Like I love it. I love the family vibes I get, man. Like I said, and putting that positive spin, because it is, dude. I mean, you guys in your family, it's such a great. I mean, it's been documented in the Dark Side of the Ring, and you had what WWE years ago had the rise and fall of WCCW World Class. It's a great story up until all the bad stuff. We're not going to go into that because we're not here for that. Everybody knows that. We're here to highlight you guys who are doing so well. But I love the family thing, the family vibes. That's where it's at, man. I mean, and real recognizes real, and you guys are putting it out there, and you can tell. It's like you said, guys like Brian Pillman Jr. are doing the same thing. You're not living off of the name. You have the name. I mean, it certainly helps. It helps get eyeballs on you. But after that, it's up to you guys to do the rest, and
100%. Yeah.
The name can only do so much. And one thing too, it's been crazy doing it with my brother and my dad's story. It is heavy and it's pretty nuts. But one thing it did for him, he said death can do two things to a man. It can harden you towards the world and harden you towards other people, make you critical, or it can just soften you up and make you compassionate towards people who suffer. And that's one thing my dad is definitely like. We're blessed to have a good dad. That's it. Some people don't. Some people do. And we have so much respect for men without dads, because dad is it's a big role to play in your life. And to have a man that teaches us to really not hold grudges, let things go. It's not worth it. You'll never know when you'll see each other again. And so that's made us kind of just not take life for granted. Try not to live, look too far in the future or look too far behind. You just live in the moment and enjoy it.
Just trying to make the most of every situation. Because we look back now, some of the time we were in Japan, we were traveling all over the place, seeing such cool things, but we were kind of, when you're young, when you're young, you tend to focus more on, I'm homesick, this isn't that great, whatever. But it just helped us remember together that we're just always going to look for the good in everything. It's good to have each other, to keep each other accountable to that.
The next 3 months we looked at it with a different perspective, and it was like actually fun. Like we were like, let's go to Tokyo Dome, let's walk around this, we just did all these things that we've wanted to do instead of, focusing on our circumstances. Right now I have to do this, tomorrow because I'm a stressed person. I can get stressed out easy. And so I got to think like this so I can relax and be carefree, but I'll care when I need to.
And I totally get that. That's the same way I live. And, not a lot. I don't share really my personal story, a lot of people, but, me growing up, I had a kind of a tragic upbringing and a lot of crazy stuff going on as well. And, I really identify with like how your father has handled it. I mean, that's priceless wisdom, to live in the moment and be compassionate towards those who are good to you and to everybody else. I mean, I try to live my life like that every day, and it could be very trying because there's a lot of people in the world that want to test that, and that aren't worth your time, you know. And I've,
man.
you know, you guys probably ran into the same thing, you know, when you're in high school and you got your clique and your group of friends, and it's like, hey, we're, you know, ride or die till the end. And then once you start getting up there a little in age and after high school, you start to notice that circle just dwindles and dwindles down.
Oh, absolutely.
And the people that were your brothers and sisters, at least what you thought, they ain't there anymore for whatever reason. But they ain't up on the reel. They ain't, you know, they're always stuck on stupid, as I like to call it, or some drama or some BS instead of just progressing and moving forward. And it's all up here. It's all up in your mind, you know?
That's so true, man. And the only way to learn that is experiencing pain and war. And, you know, you've obviously been through it. And so that really is, that's awesome advice too. That's an awesome way to live.
So when you guys started actually wrestling, I mean, was it something you guys, I mean, I know you are the product of the environment, so to speak. You guys had to have grown up maybe wrestling around with your dad. I mean, was after everything was said and done, he was retired. Was it something that he kind of did with you guys, or was he just a little, you know, like, I'm going to leave the wrestling kind of out of my life for a little bit? Or
he was like that. I mean, he didn't want to force us into anything. At the time, we're playing football and stuff, but
nice.
We both loved wrestling, and we both loved wrestling. We'd always wrestle with each other and stuff, and we would watch my dad's tapes, and you know, we were wrestling fans at the time, and so it was kind of forced. He didn't force it on us; we forced it on him to, you know, to take us to a WWE show. And that was one day he took us to a WWE show, or WWF show at the time, and it was like the Attitude Era. And I remember the night before Undertaker hung Boss Man, and so I saw Boss Man walk by, and my dad, you know, he didn't tell us anything about the business. I was like, he died yesterday. I was just freaking out. You know, I was like, what is he doing?
Zombie!
Yeah. And then it was Undertaker walking up to my dad and seeing how much respect he had for my dad, and like hugged him and like embraced him. I was like, it just changed my whole thought process on who my dad was. Because my whole life that people would come up in Texas and say, I was a huge fan growing up, but it didn't, seeing somebody that I looked up to as a wrestler, you know, show my dad that respect, it kind of just clicked. Like, maybe my dad knows what he's talking about. You know, I'm going to start listening to this guy.
Yeah.
You know, and so he's been such a rock in our career, and he's never tried to force really anything on us. You know, this is something that we wanted to try other. We loved it, and we wanted to try other things, and then it was kind of like destiny. It just came out of nowhere. Like, it was the only door that was open, and so we had to go through it. And it slowly came together. We grew the whole time during it. At the beginning, we were awful at it. We were super green, and it was that was a tough pill to swallow, to not to be good at something, because, you know, we were always good at sports or something. And I was like, man, why can't I get good at this? Like, that was a great match, wasn't it? And you get back, and the boss is, no, terrible, sorry. Japanese, they'll tell you if it's bad. Yeah. And so it was just a lot of painful growing pains. And then when we finally got to Texas, we started working with actual, like, crowd noises and crowd sounds. Japan pounded the fundamentals in us, and let us learn that stronger style that we like to watch. But you can involve it with the wrestling you see. But it kind of just changed for us there. We went to Texas, and the crowd actually reacted to us coming out and to moves, and like, whoa, this is weird. This is different. I can't just stand there and look at them when they make that sound. I got to, like, move my body or something. So then we started really, like, just like doing what felt natural, and then it's starting to finally roll together.
Yeah, the whole thing has just been one big growing experience. We've been experiencing it together. You know, it makes us closer as a tag team and as brothers. And, you know, he's seen all the same stuff I've seen. Just been on in all these tense situations. You know, these nights where you have to perform, and it's just,
you got the same stories.
Yeah,
you can't tell a story without him knowing.
Yeah, and it just being in the fire with somebody, you know, and it just helps you just appreciate that person so much more. And so it even just, you know, it just even more makes us appreciate our dad and everything he kind of, you know, went through and went without for so long, and that he's dealing with it without, you know, being, you know, negative and really, you know, begrudging or whatever to wrestling.
When you're going through like a family crisis or something's kind of going on, and you're in a different country and there's nothing you can do about it, you don't have Wi-Fi, you can't use your phone, you know, and you're not going to talk to a family member in like a week or so. Was weird, as a weird comforting feeling, is going to a show and knowing that your dad, your grandfather worked in that building in that country that feels so far away, you know. And it's just like, it's almost like I'm supposed to be here, you know. That's been a realization a lot of times, and it just makes you I fell in love with my dad more when I got home and I was away from him. And I got home and just, man, you experienced all that stuff and lost your brother. Like I got one and I couldn't imagine, and to lose all of them, it was just heavy.
I mean, is that something that kind of maybe, how would I phrase this? But you guys going through these experiences now and getting to do what your dad and your uncles did and your grandfather, is that something that maybe your dad has talked to you about, like, as far as like you say you guys come back from Japan or whatever, and he's seeing the progress, especially where you guys are at now. I mean, tag champs of a major promotion, and kind of been like maybe reliving a little bit of that, or seeing that spark that was there with him and his brothers and dad through you guys, and seeing it like almost kind of vicariously living through. And I know he's done some stuff with you guys on some shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Has he ever said anything to you about that? Like, holy shit, like,
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's having,
it's like exactly what you think.
Yeah, he's having as much fun as you can possibly have when we get home. Like, and we're telling about how the show went and stuff. He's just there, and he's like, he's kind of.
He's like the most engaged listener you've ever spoken to.
Yeah, he's like right in your grill, Yeah, and he wants to know every detail and stuff, and that's it's awesome to retell it, because then he's also not afraid to tell you what you did wrong. If we watch the match together, it's almost like we got to keep pause. We can't watch the whole thing because he wants to, hey, that was great, this, but he wants to change it up or whatever. But we needed that. But now we're actually, since MLW, he's actually just watching it and enjoying it with us, and it's made us even closer, especially even doing promos together, going outside and working together. We're like laughing super hard the whole time. We have so many bloopers. It's crazy.
I love speaking of the promos, I love this one MLW did when you guys were at the side of the Sportatorium. I got chills, dude. Like, you just had the bare feet in the grass. I mean, it's so organic. Seriously, I'm getting goosebumps, man. It's fucked up.
Oh, man.
It's just, I mean, I'm 38. I'm going to date myself, whatever I always do. So I just remember being a little kid, and I got into pro wrestling when I was like 5, and reading all the magazines and, getting familiar with WCCW and the Von Erichs and the Freebirds and all that, and so much history. And I'm such a big fan of that. To see a promo that was cut like that, it was like, it almost puts you in tears, and it's like, not in a negative way. It's just like, dude, this is so fucking awesome. I'm going to cry about it. And if you say anything, I'm going to get you. Dude, you get those vibes. So kudos to Court and the guys for, having you guys put that together. Cause that's so cool. And what was that like? Cause I know it's gotta be so cool for your dad to look at you boys now and be like, man, to, like I said, going back to putting a positive spin on, such a tragic tale, and for him to kind of almost relive that whole wrestling experience now through you two. What was it like, though, to kind of be on those like hallowed grounds? And I'm sure, had you ever been there before that with your old man, or?
We've driven past it a couple times when we were younger, but they got it on tape. That was the first time we're all three there together, and it was a real moment. They were filming before we even knew it, and they just kept it. But it was, we were just sitting there and we were just looking at each other. And my dad said after we're leaving, he was like, to know if I could have known when I was in my lowest low that my sons were gonna, to main event in Dallas one day. And he's like, it would have, it'd have been promising at the time. He thought that he could never thoroughly fully enjoy again. It was hurt so bad.
Just enjoy life. Yeah, just in general.
Yeah, now it's too late. I can't enjoy anything ever again. So, but it's changed now. His family's tripled. He has 20 members in his family, and everybody loves the guy like crazy. Where everyone takes care of him here. We're all on one property, and we all pay his bills. He lives for free. And he deserves it.
He's earned it.
Yeah.
That's so super awesome, man. Super cool. So I remember seeing you guys back in the day, because I want to back up a little bit when you guys were talking about, having your dad watch you and maybe critique you, and I'm assuming train you guys a little bit. I would assume he'd have to be the first one you guys went to, right? Like, hey, train us.
Definitely.
Like, Dad, you're gonna do it, or I'm gonna go somewhere. So he's always like wrestled with us anyway, especially being younger. But it was like more of an amateur wrestling. But then as we got into pro wrestling, he would fine tune stuff mostly. Because I remember growing up. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, growing up, he wrestles with his kids. And even in high school, he would always come at me like that, and I knew, okay, he wants to lock up.
Yeah.
It gets me in a headlock, and it's been kind of like that throughout all our life. So it's always been a natural thing.
You're in a line at Walmart, and he's like, yeah, he's wrenching your arm, and he's like, sell it.
It's working.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But like getting into like the growth I've seen from you guys in ring is phenomenal, because I remember seeing you guys, and it's had to been a number of years now, back in Impact, when it was still TNA, and you guys, I think you guys did two things there, right? Because you guys did the Slammiversary when they did it in Dallas, and I thought there was something else.
We did 2 matches in Orlando for a TV tape. We did 2 days in a row. It was James Storm and Manic at the time. He was Manic at the time at TJP.
Yeah.
And then we wrestled Mr. 420 and was it Mr. 420?
Yeah. 450.
Mr. 450.
420.
Oh yeah, 450. And then I can't believe I can't remember his name. He's a bald guy that worked for Impact, but he's an awesome guy, an awesome worker. And he's like,
I know I know his name so well, I can't remember it right now.
But yeah, we did 2 matches, 2 tag matches, and it was a lot of fun. And we were gonna work with Impact after that, but they couldn't do the Hawaii thing, and they wanted us to move. I think it was in Tennessee at the time.
Oh yeah. This was when Dixie Carter was still running.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, it was in Dixie. It was in there.
She tried. Whatever. I'm not gonna.
She tried. Yeah.
But I think they're in better hands now. Do you guys watch anything else other than MLW and WWE?
Kind of watch just MLW right now. I mean, we watch other stuff. We love like especially Pro Wrestling Noah, the old stuff. But we like watching it now. We love anything Japan, New Japan and stuff.
They got that tourney coming up. Well, I think it's this week, so that'll be a fight and stuff.
But we think it's always good to watch what wrestling's producing. We always watch the other tag teams for all the promotions. We just keep our eye out for everybody, and and we're always trying to get better. And so we're pretty much watching whichever wrestling's on. I'm not like anti AEW or anti WWE. I mean, I'll watch it if it's on, but I'm not setting my timer or setting a clock to go watch it.
Yeah, I feel it. Is there a tag team out there that you guys really, really want to lock it up with?
Man, we made a really good friend in Japan, Phoenix and Pentagon. It was before we knew he was a tag team or anything, but it was actually before he had a really big name. But we were like, I've never used the term I hit it off with somebody, but there was such a language barrier right there. But we were the best of friends. Like we were leaving to go to the airport. He rode with us just to go with us to the airport. And we were just like all emotional, like, I love you, man, bro. And there was such a bad language barrier. It was all
it was so
signals. I think we played like chat roulette one night. And,
we all bonded and couldn't even speak the same language. It was so cool.
It was a good time. It was a super good time. Yeah.
Very awesome. That'd be one hell of a match, man. Lucha Bros versus the Von Erichs.
No, he's a freak athlete, man. He's just
he always has been.
He really is.
He's one of the best.
Awesome.
And you guys, Sretton, I've said a million times on this show, I think him and Penta, he's more the athletic freak, and Penta's more of the storyteller. But dude, Phoenix is going to go down as like this generation's Rey Mysterio, in my opinion.
Yeah, he can do it all. And he's like, the guy's fearless. He's not afraid of anything.
And he deserves it, absolutely, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So impressive.
So growing up, I mean, I know your family was so athletic. I mean, all these guys were just jacked beyond belief for the most part. Great athletic background, whether it comes to, sports in high school and football and all that stuff. Was there anything else outside of wrestling that you wanted to do maybe a little more? Or was it just always like, hey, we're going to do the wrestling gig? Did you guys go to college or anything for football? Or?
Yeah, well, we both were gonna. I was pursuing discus. I threw discus in high school, and I was the state champion my senior year. And I was number 1 in the state. And then I went to the meet and I got like second or third. But I'm lying. I remember I got third. I was for sure third.
Oh, come on now.
I got beat by 2 feet. It was a bad meet, but. We also played football. I stopped after high school because right after high school I went to Noah, and he was in the middle of the process of college football. but he left right at the beginning too. So it was kind of like a
never played an actual down, but my whole life growing up, it was just we had a football in our hand. We were always playing tackle football in the front yard or whatever.
Well, Texas, I mean, you're talking about football,
exactly.
Come on.
Oh yeah,
that's how you're raised. My dad, football was my dad's first love. That's what he told us in the beginning. He said football is gonna be your first love, and I hope it's not your first heartbreak. But yeah, you have senior year, you got to go through that. I'm not going to the NFL. I believed it for way too long. Even while I was wrestling, I was like,
so that was something you still wanted to do. You saw yourself in the NFL then? But I was never as good as I wanted to be. We were both like. We can like outbench a lot of the linemen. We're strong. We could outrun some of the skilled guys. We could jump higher, but like our bodies didn't like fit. Like, I don't know. I wasn't big enough to be like a lineman. I was perfect size for a linebacker, but I didn't have that speed. I was this weird setting. And then when I found wrestling, I was like, well, all my weird attributes like make sense now. I can jump high. I can throw stuff far. It's like, it all made sense. That's cool. I got a couple of questions here that, when we posted that we're going to cut this episode with you guys, I asked people if they had any questions. So I got two that are from Twitter that I wanted to ask you guys. And, cool. Maybe they'll get super stoked that they got a little rub from the JP Dub and the Von Erich. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this first one is from John Roberts at Big 68 LA. Big 68 La. Aside from your dad, the biggest influence in your life and career, and the other question, proper grammar, folks, come on, it helps. And your career defining match to current. So I'm going to reword this for him. Aside from your father, who is the biggest influence in your life and your career? And what's the most defining match of your career? Okay.
And for me, it was a singles match that I had. I was wrestling Kinsuke. He used to be one of the Road Warriors, I guess, in WCW, the Japanese one.
Kensuke Kinsake?
Yeah. So
I remember that. Yeah, he teamed up with that was when I'm trying to. Now I might get this wrong, but I think when Hawk and Animal kind of split for a little bit, Hawk went to Japan and formed it with them, or
that's right, and then they came back to America.
Yeah.
And so I was, it was a night, that guy, we got to Japan and we weren't wrestling yet. And I got to watch this guy for 3 months just dismantle people and just like murder young boys. And I was just,
young boys are dead.
Yeah, exactly. He was just like, he's built like a rock. He really doesn't move when he gets chopped. And so it was our second tour to Japan. We're actually wrestling, and we were like wrestling like 12 days in a row. And I was so exhausted, and we looked on the board, and I had the night off, and I was like, dude, I got the night off. What? I was like so happy. I was like, lucky you. And we're all laughing and stuff about it.
I had Nakajima that night.
He had Nakajima, which I was going to feel bad for him. It was hard to get a good move. And then the next day, I was like, what if I have the night off again? And then I saw why I had the night off is because I had Kinsuke in a singles match, semi-main event. And I was 19 and greener than grass. Yeah, greener than grass. And so I was like, oh, shoot. And it was actually the first time that I was actually genuinely scared. I was scared. I was young, and I was what am I going to do? This is like a grown man, and I feel like I'm still a kid.
It's like a
grown up. Yeah, he's like, I'm like fighting a grown up.
Whoa.
So it was just a super scary feeling. And then I remember I was walking out to the entrance, and I don't mean to get like preach or anything, but I said a prayer, and I was just like, all right, Lord, you've made this man, and you made me. Prove your power by just make me not scared. I'm going to trust you right now, and I'm just going to fight as hard as I can. And it was just the fear turned off. I was just focusing on not being afraid, and I was just like, I was so pumped. I must have been that like testosterone puberty coming down from puberty or whatever. But I was like emotional. I had tears in my eyes. I was like crying, but like mad. And so right when the bell rang, I was just. I just went as hard as I could. I ran up to him with a boot. I hit him as hard as because I knew I watched this guy just like murder young boys, and I was a young guy. They said treat the Von Erichs like young boys. They want to get their father specifically said train them as young Japanese wrestlers. And my dad was throwing us to the wolves, but it was good for us.
Yeah.
But and so like I remember kicking him, and it was just the snuggest, stiffest match I've ever had in my life. And he was sitting there ringside, and I was fighting as hard as I could, and I could tell like he started selling for me, which was a really big deal. I've never seen him sold for anybody, and I just kept coming back. I gave him a slap, and I was just like, I screamed, I'm not afraid of you, and I hit the ropes and booted him or whatever. And yeah, he gave me one of his finishes, his clothesline. It was supposed to be his finish, and he gave me a real big lariat. And my brother, I remember I was looking at my brother, but I did like a lawn chair. I
landed directly on top of his head and just lawn chair.
But as I was laying over, I was making eye contact with my brother, and I was like, "Dude, I look sick," and he was like, "So sick." And I remember like, and he's like, "Best match ever. This is your best match ever." And I just like that just motivated me even more. And he let me kick out of it. That was supposed to be the finish, and then he told me to and I not only kicked out, but I like no sold it. Got right up and screamed in his face, and then he finished me real quick. But that was a change or a moment where like I think wrestling changed for me. That these aren't men. These are men, but you're a man too. And it's to the people. You're a gladiator. Fight like one. And it really helped me to believe when I'm in there. I'm really believing that I'm in a fight and that I'm a fearless Hercules. That's the mindset I'm trying to go for. That's what I'm trying to go for.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it was good. That was changing for me.
For me, as far as career defining match, I might even have to say it would be either our debut at MLW or maybe when we won the titles. I think there was just like, there was so much leading up to that, and for that to finally happen was just like
we had no idea we're
like, hey, we're just happy to be on the team, you don't owe us anything, we
were freaking out with each other like, dude, we're the fourth match right now.
Whoa, we're not like the opening match. What?
Yeah. So it was tripping us. We were in Texas, we were main eventing and stuff, but but Texas has we have deep roots in Texas, and it's
pretty easy to get over.
I didn't think anybody was going to know us in New York. I didn't know anything about it, especially Milwaukee, but Chicago, I was like, oh shoot, this is a huge arena, and like nobody knows it. And to hear that people were actually behind us was like unreal. That was really like,
the motivation that gives you is just, it's crazy. Like the feeling of someone just like pulling for you, believing in you. You're just like, you want to give it everything you got for that one person, even if it's just one person, like going, all out for it.
It's more motivating than someone not like having haters or whatever, someone not believing in you and saying you can never accomplish it. Like that doesn't get to my head as much as someone actually like believing in me. It's like, no, this guy's the future. It makes me want to like, it's just a different kind of pressure, that you want to meet,
Exactly.
It's a good pressure for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And like I said, I was there for that. And I was totally pulling for you guys, and and not to sound rude or anything, but I didn't know, as a wrestling fan and not trying to be a smart mark. I didn't know which way they were going to go with it. So when you guys won, I was like, I had that buckwheat look stare, like, holy shit, my eyes got all big. I was like, man, dude, like
so
they won it, man. And you guys come out, dude. I'm sorry, but I love you guys got like the version of Ted Nugent's Stranglehold when you come out. I was like, yeah, man, get down.
Even though that was my dad's ring entrance, and he came out like probably 6,000 times to it. Anytime that song would come on the radio when we were as kids, he'd just crank it to the max, and he'd feel the drums on the dashboard, and we're all head banging in the back seat. It's always been like a family song.
That song never gets old. It's perfect. Yeah,
my dad always said,
that's great.
Song never gets old.
It's great, man. It's definitely a classic, and it suits you guys well, man. I love it. It was
so awesome because we've been having trampoline matches to that song since we were like 6.
Since I can remember. We did the whole entrance and
And it's also cool. I mean, it's got to be awesome, like you're saying, for you guys to realize, coming to Chicago, which is, you're talking Texas, you talk New York, and if you want to go old school in like the territory days, there's a lot of different hot spots. But I think especially even now, with AEW kind of really firmly laying their roots into Chicago, there's a lot of great independent Chicago promotions. And MLW coming out here frequently, that to have that crowd receive you guys. I mean, you like Marshall, like you were saying, you didn't know how you were going to be over in Chicago. I mean, you were in like Flynn, dude. I mean, the Chicago fans are pretty smart, and they're some of the smartest. There's always like these, like, the Philly fans and the Chicago fans about who's more passionate. And Chicago as a whole, with all of their sports. I mean,
football,
football, basketball, baseball, like shit is rabid, and
it was intimidating.
Yeah, no, that's exactly why it was so big to us. Because we knew that going in, like we're watching Chicago matches of like before we get there, and it's like you can't wrestle, like the stuff you don't want to hear, like man, here we go. These are some smart fans.
I can get out without one of those.
Yeah, but to hear that they were pulling for us, it was just like we were in our hotel room after the match, and we're like, dude, like it was just crazy. We kept looking at each other, start laughing. Like you can't believe that we weren't. Yeah, that was unreal. That was the happiest 8-hour flight home, and it was like 12 hours.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I had a big fat grin on my face the whole way there. Yeah.
What's your guys' so out of everywhere you performed, at least within the States, what's your favorite place? I mean, I know Texas got to be up there for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Texas, just because of the passion and the people and stuff. But honestly, Chicago has become our new, like, one of our new favorite places that we thought the venue was just like, that venue is so sick. But
it's awesome.
Yeah, the people are so awesome. Like, they're just like, they all know their wrestling history. They all like love wrestling so much. And it's like some of the same fans every time in Chicago. It's like really loyal fan base. And like, man, it was just, I don't know. I think wrestling in Chicago is like, it's part of Chicago's history.
It's like big time to us.
Yeah, it's a big time
for us. It really is.
Oh yeah. Well, you go back and you look at, I mean, just there's so many historic things. Flair and Steamboat back in the day in Chicago, and there's so many, and the old matches. I remember at Comiskey, the old White Sox stadium, where I think Flair was coming down on a chopper and shit, and it just I get those like old memories, and it's just like the dudes swigging beer and like throwing the beer at the wrestlers that didn't like it, the Road Warriors coming through there and shit, and like. Chicago's working class people, I mean, and they're, like I said, they're very passionate. And we're in Northwest Indiana, but we're only like 25 minutes out of Chicago. So we're essentially a suburb of the Chicago. And all my sports teams, dude, I'm a Chicago fan through and through, whether it's football, basketball, or baseball. But, dude, the best fans, no doubt, at least I'm going to be biased and say that I've experienced. So
we agree with you, man. It's like, I don't know, it's one of our new favorite spots. It's just that the people are awesome, the fans are awesome, and Chicago has that like there's a lot of movies made over there too. So it's just like it's a cool place to be.
Oh yeah, all those the Dark Knight trilogy. Come on,
yeah, and we learned about some mafia history in Chicago. We just think it's really cool. It's
tons of it.
So much history there,
dude. And there's a lot of stuff out where we're at, Northwest Indiana, because a lot of those guys, they had operations going from Chicago to out here. I know Al Capone had some spots, like specifically in the city of Hobart, where I'm at. You also John Dillinger, dude, Crown Point, which is where one of Black Label Pro is shout out to those guys, one of our home promotions here. That they're out there in Crown Point running shows, and that's where Dillinger escaped from. And what's that movie they just had about who was that? Sren, what was that? What was the movie they just did with John Depp a few years back?
I can't get American Gangster out of my head, and that's a totally different movie. So
no,
I'm not helping.
Damn it! It was so it was an old dude who played Batman, the Dark Knight series.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it.
I keep wanting to say the Untouchables, and I'm thinking, man, that's Elliot Ness, you dumb bastard.
That's why when we hang up, I'm gonna remember it.
Yeah, that's why we're not a movie podcast.
Oh, whatever. Because we can't remember. So I got one more question from Twitter for you guys. All right, this one is from Joey Nicholas at Joseph Nicholas on Twitter. If a Von Erich movie were made, I want to know who they would like to see portray members of the Von Erich family.
Oh man,
that's an interesting thought.
I'd play.
I'd want to play something just so I can be in it. I mean, I'll be the janitor in some scene or whatever.
I want to play my mom. I'd be the janitor. I can already imagine my scene with the wig. I flip the hair. It's my face.
He's got the look.
I don't know. That's probably a better question for somebody who knows celebrities a little more. I'm really limited. I just know like the.
Just
the
say
top,
Brad
like,
Pitt for everybody. Or,
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, there.
He's a draw,
Brad Pitt
right?
Play both of us. You know, he just have to do. He can't be in the same scene at one time.
It's 2020. They could do that nowadays.
I know. Seriously, I watched in Star Wars. They used a past or actor that or actress that passed away. Actor that passed away, and that was trippy. That was just crazy how they did that.
They just did that with in Bill and Ted. Have you guys seen the new Bill and Ted? You fans of that series at all?
Bill and Ted,
well, I saw the first one. I definitely want to see the second one though.
They just put out the third one, which is crazy.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, the new one. Yeah.
And they had George Carlin. He had a little spot in it, so it was kind of cool.
That's kind of
That's crazy.
I know when they were talking about doing a movie, they were talking about doing a movie, and they're going through actors and stuff. My dad thought he was too skinny, but Matthew McConaughey to play my dad at that time. But he was actually a huge world class fan growing up. He went to
he went to the sportatorium and watched
Really?
as a kid.
Yeah, he was like a huge Von Erich fan. He's
Right
like,
on.
Yeah, I know. I thought
all right. Yeah,
that was my response when I found out. That's all I could think of.
Well, didn't one of you guys do? You guys did some movie stuff, didn't you? One of you guys
He
did.
did, yeah.
yeah.
Ross, look at movie star over there, handsome boy. You.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, but I mean, I can't take all the credit. It's a great, crew of people. No, I had a super minor, just kind of in the background kind of thing, and then there was I was a hand-in. I called that because I was a stand-in for Roman Reigns when he was
It was Magic Mike. That was a movie that he was in.
Yeah, I got that DVD.
Oh man,
I'm just joking. I don't own that.
I was Kevin Nash's shoulders.
I'll never forget. My buddy was showing me that movie. He's like, dude, look at you're a wrestling fan. Look at this. It was like Kevin Nash is a male stripper. I'm like, what's going on?
Hey, bro, you love this. You're a wrestling fan,
Yeah.
right? Check this out.
Like this was Super Shredder. Come on.
I know. This is Big Diesel.
Well, how did that come about though, Ross? Because that was that was one of the Fast movies, right?
it was and
Hobbs and Shaw.
yeah,
Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there was I forget what it was, but they were just doing, like sign up things for just to be an extra in some movie. And I signed it. I, volunteered for it, and some movie came and went. And
I made him go, by the way. We both went down we had some free time and we both went down for a different movie. It was just like this casting thing. And then,
but it was crazy. So I get there and, I'm just doing the background stuff and then all the background guys are done after 2 weeks, and they called me back and like, hey, we want you to do this. And then I was kind of like the utility guy. Like I was like doing all kinds of stuff, and so they even gave me like the tattoo of the same tattoo he had. And like, there's a scene where I was typing, he was typing, and it was like my actual hand or something. And,
we need your hands. You're a hand model. That's all.
I was a hand in, exactly. Not a stand in. That's for sure. But I had the tattoo to prove it and everything, so it was a cool experience just to see like all the cars and all the background stuff and like the explosions and stuff. I mean, who would think that's cool?
he had a sick tattoo for like 2 weeks, but then like at week 2, it was like fading and
like,
stuff.
hey, you gonna take that
Right.
off ever, man? I mean,
Hey man, all you gotta do is wash your arm and it goes away.
Hey, well, he's such a big Roman Mark. He's like, I don't want to wash it. Did you get to talk to Dwayne at all?
A few of the guys like who found out who I was on the crew were like, hey, no, just go over there and he'll definitely know, and so I don't know. I just, I didn't want to be that guy, and I didn't go up to him, but I definitely crossed my mind, and maybe I should have.
I think he should have. I think he
Totally should have. I get those conflicted feelings too, because it's like at shows and with doing, the podcast and everything, and the whole idea of the podcast, aside from, and I try to make it a little bit different than everybody else. I don't want to sit here and just ask you guys the same boring shit over and over. I want to get to people to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like when I'm at shows, it's like, man, and I got my camera there. It's like, or something. I should go up to these guys and say whatever. It's like, nah, I'm not going to be that. That's for everybody else to do. I'm not going to be that guy. And it's maybe I should because I'm technically media, but I want it to be more organic, kind of like this is, and I feel like everything just kind of clicks better,
The next time we're in Chicago, though, we want to see you. Come by and say what's up, man.
But by the way, so from our perspective, it's never like, okay, here we go. It's never like one of those kind of things. I think it's just when you're on that end, you're just like a considerate person, I guess, so just like, I don't want to disturb them or whatever, but it really isn't a problem. I just think it's something I maybe overthought or something, but
yeah, it's I know it's weird, like, you see someone like you look up to or famous, or that's not even like look up to, but someone who is on TV. It's like, I don't know. I immediately feel like I don't want to go bother them,
right?
Or make a bad impression or whatever.
But like I've never been bothered by like a fan at a wrestling show coming to me, because I feel like we're on the clock right there. We're at the wrestling show, and so each person, they bought a ticket. Yeah, come say what's up, man. Get your money's worth. I would. I'm like, no, you're taking a picture with me. Put me on your shoulders. Claw me.
Now, would you be saying that if you were heel?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just growl at people and spit water on them and stuff.
Right. Who did I see? So I think it was at Super Fight when I was there, and I was in line waiting to get in. And some kids were asking, I can't even think of who. I know exactly who it was. It was the cheerleader guys, male cheerleaders.
Spirit Squad.
Kenny versus Spenny. No. The Spirit Squad. Somebody outside, it's like this young kid whoever asked him for it, and I get it, I get the whole thing, which I hope it was in kayfabe, because otherwise it's just like dick. And they're like, no, we ain't got time for you guys, come see us after the show, maybe. Like, I was like, man, come on, guys.
I know.
In character. If it's in character, great, living it up.
Yeah.
Kayfabe.
If you're sitting there, you're a baby face, and you're telling kids that if you come over here again, I'm gonna slap you. It's kind of hard to believe your character, and that's one thing too. You'll remember that for the rest of your life as a kid. When a wrestler snobs you, I got snobbed one time by a wrestler. I don't want to say his name because whatever, but man, it hurt so bad. I was just like, man, if I'm ever a wrestler, I'm never gonna do that.
Oh, dude, we had and shout out to my boy Mike DeSalvo from the band Cryptopsy. And Akirian, he was telling us a story. He's out from the East Coast, the Boston area. And he said, like, growing up, he was coming outside, and this was I think maybe Boston Garden Show, and he saw, who was this, right? And it was it King Kong Bundy? I think it was Bundy. And he go outside, he's like, I saw Bundy, and he straight up, like, I think he spit on a fan or like some crazy shit, like staying in character. I mean, because especially back in those days, it's like, dude, you have to keep kayfabe,
totally. Like the heels took one bus, the baby faces took another bus. My dad said, him and my uncle Dave were baby faces when they first got to Florida, and they were walking back to the dressing room, and some like hardcore redneck fan spit like a mouthful of chewing tobacco.
Some chow.
All of my uncle Dave. And he was like, when his eyebrows would get white, he knew he was mad. He said his eyebrows got real white, and he ran up there and just started slapping the guy like back and forth. And he was a baby face, and so it didn't make. I mean, it kind of looked bad to the fan, but I mean, he did get hawked on, so I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what character I portrayed.
I know,
how realistic or not, I would have smacked the dog piss out of that guy. So you guys haven't had any crazy fan experiences or anything on the negative side with people getting a little weird?
A few negative encounters and stuff, but it's just, we're always just concentrating on, just take life lightly and not take ourselves so seriously. And when I first started wrestling, I took myself pretty seriously. I take everything to heart, but believed every bad comment. And it's just, as a wrestler, if you're going to be in the public eye, you really can't, because you'll just hate yourself, and so I try to take everything with a grain of salt, but I mean, we've had fans talk crap before and stuff. Like, it's usually fans that don't, no matter who the baby face is, they're a heel fan. They just love the heel and stuff. And I understand they're trying to they're playing the role too. They're just being into it, but it's never really gotten under my skin. I remember one time they didn't spit on us. Somebody threw something in the ring, or I forget what it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, someone threw like a thumbtack or something in the ring, and I was barefoot, and so that was kind of made me mad.
Oh, so I take it you took that bump, huh?
Time out. I go grab it.
He located it. For sure.
Oh man, People can be assholes sometimes.
Yeah.
What would you guys say is out of curiosity? So growing up, what was the promotion? I mean, obviously, maybe it was WWF, which a lot of you millennials might not know what that is. It's not the World Wildlife Fund, believe it or not. But what was some of your guys' favorite promotions growing up to watch?
We definitely watched ECW, definitely watched WCW, WWF. All the we were watching it when they were having the wars and everything.
Yeah.
All Japan in the 90s was super sick, and then mostly just that. And then we my dad, I was before they sold all the tapes to Vince McMahon, so they had my dad had we had access to every single match, and that was just freaking awesome. We watched matches that were, I wish WWE would put all of them on, because I mean there's some really,
there's so many, there's some great ones with it is just, and like Bruiser Brody, watching him in World Class and stuff. Yeah, the guy was just an animal. And then he did everything I wanted an American to do when they went to Japan. That scary, barking at people, modern day Viking. Like he was just, he's the closest a Viking as you can get, I feel. He's big, hairy, beard, scary, Yeah, perfect. Made for wrestling.
That's so cool. We actually, it's weird because, so a few months back, well, this is probably almost a year ago though, but we have a guy that lives out here that used to wrestle down in WCCW and a few other places. Went by the name of Eli the Eliminator. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Okay, I heard that name.
And it was so weird because like I sell semi-truck parts as a shoot gig or what have you. And,
shoot job, yeah.
And I don't know how but I remember seeing this guy's name, and I don't know how I came across, but somehow it got into my mind that, I know exactly, because my drummer, his wife, her dad was actually his tag team partner way back in the day, and they used to work the Chicago's and WCCW and all this stuff. Used to work down for like Dick the Bruiser and all that. So one day this guy calls and he's like looking for parts. He's this is John Richmond from blah blah. I'm like, this guy just say his name was? I'm like, man. So I give it a little bit. I was like I said, I was kind of like, I don't want to be weird, dude. He's probably maybe forgot about the business, giving shit up. Well, another guy from his company called and ordering some stuff, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I was feeling froggy. I said, hey, there's a guy that works with you. His name's John Richmond. And I was like, I hear that he used to be a professional wrestler. Would you give him my contact? I do a radio show. They're like, oh, yeah, sure. And sure enough, man, we got him in studio, and he started telling us the stories. I was like, dude, holy shit. And he's on all this old, like, world-class stuff. And
that's sick, though. And that's like kind of like destiny. You guys ran into each other
what are the odds that happens?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying, man. When stuff like that happens, I can't imagine what it's like for you guys, because you guys probably get stuff like that all the time. I mean, as far as just, following in your family's footsteps. And as you were talking about earlier, going to the sportatorium and being in Japan and feeling like, hey, man, this is our destiny. Isn't it freaking crazy, like, how that feels? Like, when you get those feels, you're just like, it makes the world seem so open and everything, like, possible,
It does. Yeah. Like, there's a whole different dimension.
It almost takes the pressure off, realizing, whoa, like, maybe I'm not in control, like, not as much control as I think, as you never know what's coming. And there was this time in our careers where we're in the in-between phase where our second tour in Japan, we're really green, bad matches, and we were kind of wondering if, like, man, are we doing the right thing? Are we just, like, bringing more shame to the name than anything? Like, I want to honor it, and I feel like we're not there. And it was really, really hard. And I believe it was Kirk and Hall, but we were we always get on the roof before shows just to get away from people and kind of get our heads together. And my dad and his brothers did that. He told me that, like, in passing. I didn't think much of it, but that was something that came natural to us. And we were on this roof, and I got on Ross's shoulders, and I grabbed a rock, and I would mark our name on this brick wall. And it was like Marshall Ross, 2012. I forget what month it was. And we drew like a some little, like, animal, and just to, like, to mark it, but we know that's us. And so it was the craziest thing ever. I was in this weird, wondering if we're in the right place, all this stuff. I think we already had our match, and we came back on the roof just to chill out. And we were looking up at the wall where we wrote, and cool. We walked on the other side, and we saw, like, a marking. There was, like, a real old it was like kind of like what do you call it, cloudy or whatever, and corroded over, and we like got really close to it and looked at it, and crap you not, it was David and Kevin. And it was like 1981 or 82, and it was just the most confirmation.
Yeah, and I know it wasn't some other David and Kevin, because my dad, he's ever since we were kids, he would draw this little alligator
with sharp teeth.
Yeah, with sharp teeth as like his signature, you know, and that was on the bottom, and we just got like chills right there. We're just like this is where we're supposed to be, and we were like the most homesick. Hadn't talked to anybody from home in like a month. Yeah, and so it was hard, especially being a 19-year-old kid. It's kind of just fresh out of high school feeling, you know. Yeah. But it was just okay. This is where we're supposed to be. This is bigger than we think, bigger than us. So, yeah, it's meant to be.
Yeah,
man, you guys are gonna be the first ones to make me tear up. No joke, dude. That's wow,
it
dude.
was crazy.
That's powerful, man. That's so, and to be in the Orient, you know, you're across the world, and there's that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what's so crazy. We're so far away from home. We felt so homesick. Felt like, you know, we kind of feel like as a kid, you're so dramatic. You feel like nothing. I'm never going to go back to normal again. Right. You know, and being in that stage, and then that day, like right before we marked our names, we were just like, we sat there on that roof, and because we both weren't happy. You know, we felt like we had a huge opportunity, and we don't want to think people were taking it for granted. You know, it was just hard. And we both sat there and prayed. It's like, let us know if this is the right place or not. Are we supposed to be here or not? And that was just the trippiest, heaviest thing. And it was just, encouraging. Okay, this is where we're supposed to be. It was good. Yeah.
Man, super heavy. I just can't describe that. I mean, I couldn't imagine
how do you make emotion. Words to that? It's crazy.
And that's the kind of story, like, I can't tell anybody. I mean, I can tell people and they can understand it, but, like, he experienced it with me. And, like, that's what I mean. Like, having a brother's been so awesome to, like, like, you were there. You saw it. Like, we have an unspoken bond. Like, remember the red blanket, and it's like a huge memory, but there was a red blanket involved, and we can use one words to tell a whole story with each other, you know. Helps with wrestling.
It's crazy how well we know each other, and just how wrestling has done that with each other.
I really don't have to talk to him. If someone says, hey, ask your brother this, I really don't have to ask. I know what he likes, I know what he doesn't like. I know his favorite food, I know all that crap, you know.
And that's good, man. I mean, dude, let's face it, realistically, that's the way, in my opinion, a bond between brothers should be, you know.
Yeah, man, and that's something that we definitely promote. We would, you know, a lot of people have a brother that they don't talk to, or a sister they don't talk to, or you're fighting, and you know you're on bad terms. And with my dad's life, seeing what he's gone through, you know, we used to fight all the time, but you know, I wouldn't let grudges last, no matter how big the situation is. You know, that's a sibling, that's your blood, and they've. You know, they experience the same upbringing. If you had a bad upbringing, you know, they were in there with you, you know, and that's a piece. They're like a piece of you, you know, and so it's really just it's been encouraged. It's strong. It's been a great thing for my life to have an older brother that's been through that with me. But my dad always says, you know, you never know when you're going to see somebody again. You know, if you never know when it's going to be your last goodbye. And so if you have that grudge, let it go. He said, let it go. It's not worth it. No matter what it is, it's not worth it. You know, people die that you love. That day does come. And so it's good to, you know, just
you don't have any regrets ever, you know.
Yeah. Like, I'll never think I'm getting old. A lot of people are like, I'm 42, I'm getting old. I'm 50, I'm getting old. But, you know, you're as old as you feel, and I feel pretty old right now. I got creaks and soreness and stuff. But you know, my 1-year-old just started playing with toys, and I was sitting there playing with them, and I got like so into it, and I was like, okay, cool. I still got that child thing with me. Like, he wouldn't even playing with them anymore. I was playing with the dinosaur. He left the
room. Yeah, man, you never lose that, dude. That's, man, I more people should be like that. I think if people actually maintained a little bit of their childhood and the wonder from being a child, and you know, like, you don't know everything. You do. And sadly, you know, the world forces you to grow up, and in some people's circumstances maybe a little too soon. But I mean, as you know, I can attest, I'm with you guys as far as like going through some really hard stuff. I'm still here. I'm talking to you guys. You know, I got a family that I love, and you know, I got good friends like this. Bastich over here. So it really is,
That's
man.
awesome,
I mean,
man.
I don't think a lot of people get that enough about, the positives and the motivation about moving forward. And people might say it's cheesy verbiage or it's this and that, but no, it is. It's really true.
Yeah.
And it's a mindset that people really have to understand, that you have to believe. Like, you guys could have started in the business and been like, all right, we're too green. We can't do this. We're dishonoring our family. Screw it. But no, you had in the back of your mind, there are certain paths that you crossed or moments in time, whatever you may have, that led you to that, to be stronger mentally, to accept that, hey, we can do this. And there's just not enough people in the world that, no matter what you want to be the best at, I don't care if it's like being a teacher, a wrestler, or, media guy, whatever it is in life, like, I don't think there's enough people in the world that really, maybe because they don't have a good supporting cast, good help, and that's why we all got to build each other up, and just be positive.
That's such awesome advice. It was awesome what you said, because, like when at these wrestling matches, you really don't know what each fan's going through. And that's one beautiful thing I think about that wrestling can offer is, you can go have a crappy week. You're mad at your boss, just got fired, lost somebody in your family. We don't know these people's stories. And the fact that they can come and let it go for a little, forget about what's going on for a little bit, and hate the good guy, love the bad guy. It's kind of like, it's an escape. And I love that wrestling can offer that. And when we went to Israel, we saw that big time. We saw, Muslims, Jews, these Arab dudes, like such different backgrounds. And to see them when my dad came out, they're like, their arms around each other and they're crying together. Yeah. They're booing, they're cheering. Like, man, over wrestling, this is crazy.
Yeah. Dude,
yeah, I think wrestling has a tendency, it can bring out that childlike thing, that creative, thing in people, where people can just kind of let go. And when we talk to people, that's kind of what we look for. We're like, let's relate to the child in this person, because it is the purest way to look at somebody, and man, I mean, it's hard to look at somebody, and I mean, I just don't want to be a bitter person. When I'm mad at somebody and I hold a grudge, I practice not to now, but it just makes you a bitter person. You're kind of, you feel like you can't trust anybody or whatever, and you're let down, always let down. You're always mad. You're holding it gets hard to hold a grudge for a really long time.
Yeah, and it's not healthy. It's really
not healthy.
True.
It's like heart disease, all that stuff stems from you being mad and stressed out, not being able to finish your food because you're angry that person's in the room or whatever. And
we're all animals, man. And I'll put it to this.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about stress, it's like the same thing, certain animals, whether it's, lizards or whatever, something that you're not supposed to handle much because it stresses them out, or, certain pets and things of that nature. It's very much the same thing. Like, it harms their body to the point where they might die. You might stress this fish out enough or something, the next morning you ain't going to have that fish.
Yeah. Oh, that's I don't know. It's everyone has a different perspective. And I think that's the healthiest perspective you can really have.
So getting into your guys is like extracurricular activities outside of wrestling and everything. What do you guys like to do? I know we were talking before we went on air here about some shit that scares the hell out of me when you guys are diving. You guys are out in Hawaii and you're jumping off of cliffs, and that's not the part that scares me. The part that scares me is what you're landing into is a pit of sharks.
Yeah, it's a shark pit. That shark pit. Cliff diving's been like, it's I feel like it's good to get that adrenaline, especially being wrestlers. You got to kind of like turn off pain, and so we try to jump off really high stuff, and just kind of, we call it chance a day. We've had it since we were kids. My dad and his brothers did it, but it's take a chance a day, and it's put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Not crazy, not too crazy, but just to get the adrenaline going. And my dad's like super against like skydiving, and now since he's older and he's seen so much like chaos and stuff, we can't even tell him the stuff we do. He's like, I was like, we went and climbed this tower one time. It was like 2 a.m. This water tower. My dad's like, oh, dude, don't tell me that stuff. And he's like, damn it. He leaves the room.
He gets all mad.
Yeah, he gets all mad and leaves the room. He's like, we did that crap too. And he's like, please don't. But we do that stuff just to keep juices flowing and stuff.
Yeah, we love being outdoors. We love nature. My dad, I think, is like the original nature boy, actually.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. There ain't no Buddy Roberts, ain't no Ric Flair.
Yeah.
He's like more Tarzan, I guess, than nature boy. But we
love like swimming. We go to random spots and build rope swings. That way the kids can we'll find some random kids or whatever. Yeah. They're swimming in a river. We'll try to build a rope swing so that it just makes that spot fun. Or try to leave a spot better than you left it. And, But that and poetry slam, that's one of my passions.
Out of left field a little bit.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. No, I've wanted to be. One time in high school, they had a pep rally and it was a poetry slam contest. And I was like, oh, this is so stupid. I went up there and I got roasted so hard that I'll always respect it now. I got roasted in the weirdest way.
Elaborate.
Some of the stuff didn't even rhyme, and so I was like, this idiot, this guy didn't even rhyme, but he was still I guess slamming me. And it was pretty gnarly.
Have you guys had any close encounters with anything out there in the ocean?
Oh yeah, man. There's definitely there's spots you can go, like coves and stuff, and see sharks. But there's this one time we were swimming under the reef. Him and I we're like they're like 300 yards out, but if you swim far enough, it will be like waist deep. There's like a shelf, and then it drops off like 300 feet right after that shelf. And so we were swimming under the shelf. It's called 3-prong spears, little spears with a rubber band at the end. Mm-hmm. You put it in your hand and you grab the top of it, and then it shoots out of your hand. It's a pretty cool weapon or whatever. But we were trying to catch some fish, but there was this little tunnel, it seemed big enough for a body to go through, and he went through it. He went through it like halfway, I think he went through it halfway and then came back. And then he's like, "Hey, I wouldn't do it if I were you, because my shoulders. I don't know if I can't get. I'm not as flexible as he is." And I went through, and he saw me not come out, and I was stuck in this like super jagged reef, like there's a tunnel, and I was halfway through, and I was like, I got that like, oh shoot, I'm about to die, because I couldn't. It was like 10 feet in front of me and like 5 feet behind me. And so I just felt my feet sticking out a little bit. And I was like, oh, shoot, I'm stuck. And Ross grabbed my ankles and like broke a ton of reef, but pulled me through it. My shoulders were all bloody and stuff after, but he saved my life. I was probably going to die right there. And it was let's not do stupid stuff alone. Okay. If we're going to do stupid stuff, have a brother with you.
Yeah.
Dude, how bad? I've been cut on some reef, and that stuff hurts.
It marks you forever.
It's like wickedly sharp. It's crazy how
it
sharp
scars for years after that.
Yeah.
Oh man. What about you guys do any like jet skiing or any of that stuff out there? Or
I wish.
I know that would be so fun. We used to when we're in Texas. Sometimes we have friends that have boats or whatever, and that's really the only time we'll get out there on the lake and do like tubing or whatever. Tubing actually kind of hurts nowadays, but wake surfing or whatever. But yeah, we don't do a whole lot of jet skiing around here. But what was
there's this thing called Mokais, and it's like a kayak with a jet ski motor on it. And our friend was making them, and he gave us 2 of them. Wait 1 second, the kids are here. You guys be quiet for a minute. But we have like 30 kids on the property right now. And it's like my sister Kristen does foster care, and so we have like tons of kids hanging out over here, and they're always in the pool. And after this, they demand to be entertained by us. Yeah, everyone else is busy.
It's our other job.
Messing with foster kids. But it was it's like a kayak with a jet ski motor on. They go like 25, 30, but that's fast on the water. And the guy was like telling us like, hey, these things are only for the river. Don't take them out on the ocean. And we were younger when we heard it, and we were just like, okay, let's just try it for a little bit. We went to this toe-in surfing spot where the waves are so big that you have to get pulled in by a jet ski. And so we went in, and I watched. I was kind of scared to try, and Ross was like just riding with the waves and turning around, and then I saw him get like pulled inside where like the barrel was going over his head on this kayak with it was the funniest thing I've ever seen, because it was like such a big it was like it could have been so bad.
The part where I capsized.
Yeah. And so I just saw him in the barrel, and I was like, oh shoot, yeah. I was like so pumped for him. And then I saw his kayak catch the wave, and he went completely upside down. And the reef is like only 3 feet under the water. That's why the waves are so big. So they're coming in from like, the deep in the ocean and hitting that reef and barreling and stuff. And so I saw him capsize, and it was such like a dramatic moment. We had to like get the boat, pump water. We had this like tiny little like tire pump, it looked like, and that's what we used to drain the thing with. We're like cussing, yelling at each other the whole time.
You're like trying to do it before the next giant wave comes,
like fighting the whole. And then we got the only way we could get back. We couldn't get back to the beach where we started because the waves were too big. So we had to go like find this random beach. We thought we were stranded and got like a wrestling fight. We're brothers. We'll never punch each other in the face, but it was just
not the face. That's the moneymaker.
Yeah. And then afterwards, it was crazy. We're all mad at each other, and we thought we were like lost. And then we heard a car drive behind us, and there's a highway right behind us. And we're fine. We're safe.
Close call.
Home. Yeah.
So, any other crazy stuff that you guys do out there in Hawaii? I've never been out there myself, but I've always heard that it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's zip lining. There's all kinds of stuff. The other day we went to Waimea Canyon, and it's just this huge scenic canyon with and the mountain peaks are like, they're like only like 6 inches wide to walk on, and it's like sheer drops on both sides. And, kind of like we took this hike the other day and walked out to those, and you're like, I hate heights though. That's like my thing. Like, I mean, you would think, like you were talking about earlier, you watch Shark Week, and like I watch Shark Week. I live in Hawaii, and I watch that show Air Disasters, and I'm always flying on planes.
I know why he does that.
I don't know why, but it's just like
he's trying to build up a tolerance, maybe.
I wonder if you're freaked out. You just watch like 30 plane crash.
It's probably some psychological thing. I have no idea.
I know. It's like what they say can't go wrong, but always does.
Yeah.
We used to remember that show, Real TV. It used to be around.
Oh yeah.
We used to watch that all the time. And then we were in Japan. Like, I remember it's a stupid story. We were walking. We were walking to like Lawson's or whatever. Like, this is our second day. Like, we felt like we were so out of place, and we were walking through this crosswalk, and there were like cameras everywhere, and it just looked like something you'd see on Real TV, like two stupid tourists in like a different country, like about to get hit like by a bus or something. And we didn't know how the traffic worked or anything. And then we're walking, we're both thinking it, but no one said it. And then we're like, it's like Tokyo, Japan. Two stupid tourists,
unsuspecting tourists, think they're just going to cross the street. Yeah. When really, or whatever.
We had to do a lot of stuff to make the time.
Yeah, you got to self entertain a lot.
I remember one time we're crossing a crosswalk, and everybody bowed to each other, and Ross was walking, and the car like kind of got close to his knee but stopped, and so he looked at them and went to go bow and banged his head super hard on the hood. And this made like an idiot, but
I was halfway doing that to make you laugh.
Yeah, but it made me laugh super hard.
Yeah.
But
that Goldberg bump.
Yeah. The lady was like, apologizing.
We're just breaking up the monotony of just doing the same thing every day.
Right? When you guys stayed out in Japan, how long were you out there for, like, at a time? When you,
we go 3 months at a time. 3 months at a time, and then 3 months, come home for, like, 2 weeks sometimes, and then back for 3 months. And so it was we lived there, like, pretty much all of 2012 and 13.
Yeah. Right, and that's just in Noah, right?
Yeah, Pro Wrestling Noah. It was like, the dojo has changed now. It moved to a different place, but it was, like, in the heart of Tokyo. Like, it was deep in Tokyo, so it was pretty cool. I mean, there's tons of stuff to do, but we live by one of like the nicest towns, like Roppongi, and it's
Roppongi Vice.
Roppongi. It was so crazy. You go there, and it's like
different world.
It's a different world. There's like there's Jamaican dudes everywhere trying to offer you chicks. There's lady boys everywhere. There's gambling. There's just everything you can think of. And it's like while you're walking, it's just like you're getting offered this and this as you're going through. It's just so crazy. It really was crazy. But there's a couple of times we had to go with some of the wrestlers, like Hard Rock Cafe. We went. We were good friends with like TMDK. They were TM61 and WWE, but we were with them and Nakamura. Like it was cool that we would all meet at restaurants from different promotions and hang out and stuff. And there's a lot of good times. Rocky Romero. There's a lot of good guys from New Japan.
What were you guys? What was your favorite food to eat out there?
Oh man,
well, they have such good. They have, like I said, they have Hard Rock Cafe. So
just American style food while you're in Japan, like the Bucks, they're eating what, a Cracker Barrel or whatever out there. Chili's.
We're going to Bubba Gumps the whole time.
Do they have a Bubba Gumps out there for real?
There is a Bubba Gumps, and we did go there a ton of times because there's Dr. Pepper. That was it.
Yeah, he's looking everywhere for Dr. Pepper all the time.
That was like my
it's the
hunt.
taste that's made to order, right? We love it.
Yeah, man. No, it was. I was hunting it down the whole time we were there. But we would go like, we grew up eating sushi since my dad. My dad lived in Japan or worked in Japan so much that he kind of raised us off sushi, and so like that wasn't a big transition. The hardest transition was not being able to read and like you buy a donut and you think it's a donut and really it's like full of like squid or it's just like it's such a gross combo.
Yeah, you're expecting donut and then you get curry.
Yeah, curry.
Like, okay.
That happened so many times.
I mean,
I was like, hey, at least it's donut. At least this is consistent. I'm not going home, but at least this is good. And then you bite that and it's not good.
it's all alive.
Like tentacles coming out of this munchkin.
Yeah, it's still alive.
Something out of Beetlejuice or whatever. I love sushi, man, but I ain't about to eat all that weird stuff. I had some weird Korean food before that was like pretty much not cooked. I guess
That's how they do it.
Octopus.
I think that they're trying to show off with, yeah, it's edible, but it's not. I mean, just because it's edible doesn't mean it's good to
Yeah,
eat.
I could eat dirt too, but I don't want to do that. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, in Japan, yeah, we'd eat a Korean barbecue, and one of the main things was it cow tongue or horse tongue?
Yeah,
Oh, cow tongue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I got a good story for this too.
You're chewing on it so long, you're just like, it feels like you're chewing on a piece of rubber.
It's like biting your tongue, but you can't feel it. That texture is just so weird.
You're like, yeah, you're eating tongue. I'm like, cool, man. Is this supposed to be good though? I mean, have something that tastes good.
Or as they call it in Espanol, lengua, right, Sven?
Lingua,
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
You tried it before?
So yeah, a few years ago, at my old job, my boss was half Korean. His mom was straight up from Korea. She would always come in. She would make. There's a lot of good things about Korean barbecue. There is, man, like some of that meat, that pork belly and stuff. It's like,
Oh yeah,
it's really, really killer.
it's such good food.
I was out there. I was loading up. Semi truck came in for delivery or whatever. I was loading that stuff up. And hey, come on, try this. Bringing it out there. I'm like, well, wait a minute now. If you're coming out here and offering it to me, something's got to be fishy about this. And I'm looking at it. And I'm looking at the cut of the meat. And I'm just like, man, he's like, oh, it's just roast beef. It's just roast beef. And it was cut thin. I was like, I knew better. And I was like, man, something's up. I didn't think tongue, but I knew something was up.
Yeah.
He gives it to me. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I try it. I'm like, I put it in my mouth. I don't like it. It's already kind of like tasting weird to me. And the texture, like really weird. He's like, oh, that's tongue. And I'm like, actually throwing it up everywhere. I couldn't get that taste out of my mouth for like 6 or 7 hours.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Stuck there. I was like,
yeah.
I don't want to eat tongue.
It's more like a prank, than like an actual like good food. It's like I feel like they give that to you when they're trying to rib you or something.
Yeah.
We were told after we tried it too.
Yeah, we were told after, and I was just like, hey, can I have something good that actually tastes good?
You guys got it down? You were able to hold it down though?
I spit mine out in my rag. I think he eats anything, but
yeah, I got like an iron stomach. I would just do it just to save face.
But even he liked it, And the hard part was if a sponsor would ever take us out, like you're supposed to be a wrestler and you eat a lot, and then they'd like laugh that you get more plates, and then there's a limit when like some of the other wrestlers couldn't come and it was just us two, and they get like just 4 plates of just meat. And so we decided to eat like so much, and he can actually eat more than me at that time too. I didn't have my tonsils, but yeah, he was.
No, I just didn't want to shame. It's just like it's a respect kind of thing. Like hey,
we got so heavy though. I got like 265, 270. We ate so much meat, and he was like 230 or whatever. But,
yeah.
Okay, man.
Good time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So speaking of ribbing, you guys got any good tales real quick about any ribs that you've done to somebody or that has been bestowed upon you?
I mean, there's stupid ribs, like someone hiding your tag belt before you go out.
Yeah.
And that's just like, okay, you're stressing me out before I go out. And somebody
Yeah, it kind of pisses you off a bit.
Yeah, it does. You're trying to get your head into it.
Yeah.
That's how the boys are. But there was this one story. There's one story about someone got this. One of the wrestlers got these wrestling trunks and chewed up the Snicker bars and like spit it all inside the trunk, and then put the trunks back on. And he acted like he came in from a match. He's like, "Hell of a main event, brother." And he's like, "I felt good. I gave it all I had." And he took his trunks off, and a big like turd with nuts in it and stuff. It was in there. He's like, did I just shit myself? And he showed it to everybody. And he smelled it, and then he licked it. And I was like,
He had the whole locker room.
The whole locker room was invested into it. And he says he was biting it off the fabric. It was just it was so sick.
He got everybody.
He got everybody. I don't know who he was ribbing. I guess he was ribbing everybody else. Yeah.
Right? That's
But he didn't look good from it.
And who really got ribbed on that one? I don't know.
Yeah, right? Like, oh, man, come on.
Oh, that was hard.
Real hard, real big, real stiff, as Jim Ross would say. Hey, speaking of announcers and commentary and stuff, this is just a random question I want to ask you guys, but out of everything and all the wrestling you guys have watched and been a part of, who would you say is your top announcer and favorite commentary guy? Maybe commentary tandem and favorite ring announcer out of everything in the universe that's out there.
Man, we've had some really awesome,
really good questions.
The MLW commentary, we loved it. Those guys that just put us over.
We've had
awesome.
Rich Bocchini on the show.
Rich is awesome. He's such a
awesome.
Smart guy.
Yes, yeah.
And he explains it well. But someone who got us into wrestling, and of course, Jim Ross is so famous now, but when he was like first started, and he would be like, "Good God, oh God," like
in Mid-South and stuff.
Yeah, like, he has children. He has children. That made us believe it as kids. We're just like, man, he's freaking out.
And every time we're wrestling each other, we're doing commentary to it, like out loud to ourselves, like, he's grabbing him. Oh no, he's doing this.
He's killing him.
Yeah, so. I think just from growing up in that era, that he's just like the man. At that time in that era, he was like
the Japanese actually do it, but I just don't understand what they're saying. But they're just like they lose their voice cracks and they lose their voice when they see
they're screaming.
It goes like
exactly. So watching it at the announce table was so funny. Like everyone's all chill and calm, and then there's this one guy like standing on his seat and like jumping up and down and out.
They do that. They always do that long like I love it. I just wish I understood, like you said. I wish I understood what the hell they're saying.
I'll know what the move is. Like, cross slammer. Just to hold it and stuff. But I remember Kenta's Go to Sleep. The announcer. We have a highlight video of just his. Go to sleep. Losing it when he screams it.
Yeah, anybody who yells, like I don't know, they just get, as a kid especially, you're just so engaged and it's just
that guy believes it.
Yeah,
I should believe it too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for sure. I thought in NXT, I don't know if you guys watched any of that, but it's kind of sad to see Mauro Ranallo kind of out of the mix now because
absolutely,
I think modern day announcing. He's in that upper echelon, and it's cool because he's also in the MMA and
he's
boxing.
Got like a classic voice.
He does. It's so distinct. It's like if we're gonna kind of go into music right here, and like to me, like good bands have a singer that have a distinct voice that can't be replaced. Like if you want to go back to like Alice in Chains, Lane Staley, super distinct. Like Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, like
they almost couldn't do anything else. Like that's exactly they're like made for it.
And that's the same thing with like Jim Ross too.
Jim Ross. Yeah. We were on a bus. We're on a bus with that guy before. Not Jim Ross, but we're on a bus, and he was talking. He was just like having like a conversation with somebody, and I remember thinking like, "Dang, his voice! It'd be like perfect for announcing." And then didn't he do? I'm not sure if he did. Did he do Ultimate Fighting at one point? Or
who, Morrow?
Yeah.
He's called MMA. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where. Because I heard his voice somewhere before. So it was just super cool that he's doing wrestling. I was like, man, that guy needs to do wrestling. But
I remember hearing his voice thinking that guy should do wrestling, and then he was doing wrestling that day. And so I was like,
Court needs to pull some strings, and he would be such a perfect fit for you guys in MLW. Him and Rich Bocchini would be
together. Yeah,
amazing.
So he's like free now on the market right now, man.
As far as I know, I don't know if it was like a contract lapse or whatnot, or I don't really know any of the details about it. But he's kind of been wishy-washy with them,
right?
Just because he maybe felt mistreated. I could see that. I mean, you hear that a lot with people in that company.
A lot of people do. A lot of
they're a
people say
monster conglomerate company now. It's not like it's, you know, I mean, you hear stories of guys waiting 6 hours to talk to Vince or whatever. And we had PCO on the show, and he was
I'd
telling
rather
us
have like
a
a personal relationship.
Exactly.
Like
you know, someone you could talk to and make, and they had that at one point. You know, guys used to be able to go to Vince and do that, but they're so big now. They're such a machine. They're Coca-Cola, as I like to call them now.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a major factor on why we didn't want to go. Because I mean, we're just become a number, you know, in a big system.
Dude, I don't know how many guys are on that roster. I mean, it's got to be in the hundreds.
But somebody I felt really bad for was EC3. Like he was such a good heel. Like I love him so much, and then he just kind of disappeared for a little bit. And I was like, man, there's no way they could have used him. Like he really is so good. I remember we were at Impact, and he was just like. He was making us lose it. We're laughing so hard. He's just like talking back to the crowd. He's really witty and smart, and he's just good with words. And I don't have the vocabulary to be a heel like that. That guy, yeah. One of my worst qualities is talking crap back. Like I'm gonna punch a hole in your face. Like I don't know what to say when someone's singing me.
Yeah.
And so I'm in wrestling.
He just punches what he doesn't understand.
I punch what I understand, or scream at it.
Yeah. I don't get that either. EC3 is dope. He's gonna be around here surprisingly. Like I said, with that promotion Black Label Pro that's by us. Yeah, super talent that they missed out on. And it's great to see that he's kind of reinvented himself and he's doing some more stuff with Impact again.
Yeah, he's back with Impact, isn't he?
Good for him. They've been knocking some shit out of the park too. It's good for all these places to kind of be thriving. You know, other than just WWE. I've said it many times. I was so upset when ECW and WCW folded. I knew history would or karma would happen, if you want to word it that way, with WWE. Because I'm like, man, I remember the day. Like I graduated high school in 2001. And it was right like a month before I graduated, and I watched those promotions that I loved so dearly and had such fond like childhood memories with and camaraderie with my homies, you know, like watching this. And I remember getting kicked out of science class because I was talking about the NWO.
Man.
Like, Mr. Wallace, if you want to talk about the NWO, then do it in the hallway. I'm like, all right, cool. See you later.
Let's go talk about it.
Let's go.
So it was gut wrenching. It was heartbreaking. It was all that when it was gone. I'm like, man, they just bought it. I was like, wrestling's gonna suck.
I know. It was like a piece of your childhood leaving. You know, it really is.
And you can't. I mean, okay, so at that point, right? Territory's already dead and gone. I mean, you still had independents, but I mean, independents weren't what they are now, and they weren't fully stocked like they are now. I mean, there's just a plethora of amazing and innovative talent on the indie scene now. It's
big time.
Real.
I'm always curious to see how territories would have done with the internet now, because I was wondering if it's even possible, because now that there's. But I mean, that's why I am happy with what AEW is doing, because it's not just WWE.
All it is just making more competition, and that's better for all the wrestlers.
It's all wrestling.
And you guys, and not to say that would, but, you know, and this is just an hypothetical talk, and say if you guys don't ever re-sign with MLW or whatever, you're not going to be like, oh, shit, well, I have nowhere else to go now.
Right.
Now, there's plenty of places to go, and the independent scene isn't bad. In almost a way,
really not bad. Yeah.
It's everything recycles itself. And when I was telling you guys about Eli the Eliminator, when he was on, that's something that he preached a lot about, was everything kind of comes back to the old school and recycles itself. And that's what the independent scene is doing right now. They may not call it territories, but territories are very much back in full effect and alive.
I agree.
Totally.
No, you're right.
Via independent wrestling, you know.
When you put it that way, that's
it's not necessarily like a region. It's just like a promotion or whatever. Because people get that following, then like people are loyal to that one brand, and it's just like, and they kind of find that like camaraderie or something. In it. It's just, I really like where wrestling is going right now. It's just
we were kind of in a territory. We were mostly in the Dallas southern area. We worked Arkansas, whatever, but we'd stay around in that area. And now we're doing East Coast with MLW, and so. There was a percentage of our fans that followed us on Twitter and stuff that were like, you know, I live on the East Coast and I followed you guys, and so it was like almost us leaving a territory coming to a different one. But what's crazy is MLW. That's one thing that I'll I'll never forget what Court did by, bringing MLW to Dallas. That meant so much that they came to Dallas. Like,
and that was like almost like a direct like sign of like affirmation, it was like from them, for them to put the faith in us to put on a show in Dallas. We
already felt like, oh my gosh, like we wrestled for MLW. Holy crap, we're tag team champion. Holy crap, they're gonna do a freaking
like you're gonna make us the
right. It was like so quick,
man. Yeah,
it's just like
it happened so fast.
An avalanche.
Yeah. Well, you guys done a great job. I mean, carrying the ball, and I'm super pumped to see what the restart's going to be all about, because a lot of the signings that a lot of them I'm not even aware of, but the way Court's fluffing me up, I might as well get super excited. Yeah.
Hey, he's being a good promoter then.
I love all your impressions, man. You're popping us this whole time.
I appreciate that. But just everything he does, everything with MLW has been so solid. And that's why we've been such huge supporters. I got the War Beast shirt on now. We've had Joseph Samael on the show a couple times. Another great dude, and he also runs PCW Ultra. We've had Casey Lennox on, Rich Bocchini, and the list goes on and on. It's Hammerstone, the guys from the Dynasty, and there's just such a wealth of talent and diverse talent. And going back to what I said at the top of the show, it really is its own unique monster. And I think that once everything fully comes together and people are able to get more eyes on the product, they will see that it's okay. There's not just AEW and WWE and Impact, which I don't know if Impact's lumped in there anymore. They used to be the number 2, maybe they're number 3. I don't know what ROH's status is, but dude, to me, it's really is MLW, because they bring it like nobody else, and they give you that buffet, that eclectic mix, that like that craft beer, whatever you want to akin it to. It's all there, and it's real. It's all real. It doesn't seem like this manufactured garbage that we get every Monday and what is it, Tuesday, Friday nights? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's organic. It really is. It's organic.
It's super organic. It's wrestling. It's not sports entertainment.
Exactly. Man, that made my dad sick when they said that. He was like, it's like crapping on all the boys that fought for that names. You know how many fist fights me and the boys have gotten into over the F word, and now they're calling it entertainment. Like
Marshall, I'm gonna have to bleep you for that. You done said the F word. We do that. So if you listen back, you're gonna be bleeped.
Yeah, everybody say beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, please bleep that. That'd be great.
I know you can just bleep everything that they say.
Bleep after conversation.
But yeah, it's hard to get into wrestling. It's damn.
But it's true though, man. It's I remember, and then they pushed it like a product so hard, that verbiage, that term, sports entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, wrestling was already at that point so big. You don't need to call it that. It's just a fancy way to market it, I guess. And for them to get out of a lot of stuff as far as with athletic commissions and, Vince's steroid scandal and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
So, it's not real. It's sports entertainment. It's like, come on, man. It's wrestling. All right.
I think it's fun to believe, and it's fun to. I don't know. As a kid, it was. I loved. It was hard to see like two guys getting along that you didn't think get along or whatever. But it was. I think even for like adults, it's
I think everybody wants to believe, and it's and people appreciate the fact that it is an art, but I don't know. I just didn't really mesh well, I guess, with us just to do it like that. We like the sacred, old classic. Yeah,
history. You guys are a product of the old school, man. And
my grandpa would be pissed if he found out.
Yeah, dude. Fritz be clawing the hell out of some skulls right now.
Automatically, he'd be really proud of MJF because that guy sticks to it.
Dude,
he lives it, and that's I think that has something to do with his success now that he's full-time MJF.
Yo, my old lady hates MJF. Like she gets pissed when he comes. Like, I hate him. He's a bad man.
Yeah. That's when my dad watches him. He just loses it. He cracks up so hard because he said he's just like Gino. Gino Hernandez.
Yeah, dude, Gino. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the whole when we met him, we were just like laughing, like he's a little younger than us, and we're just like, it's like in a cute way, like, man, you're so good for the business. Oh man,
it's just like, man, good job, buddy.
Keep doing it, buddy.
Yeah, because we all know what wrestling is, doesn't mean it has to be something different. It doesn't have to stray away from the time-honored tradition and the formula that works. I mean,
totally.
we know what it is, but the extension of disbelief or belief when you're escaping, like you guys said earlier, and wrestling has been a huge escape for me to get through a lot of down moments in my life.
All of us.
Same thing. If it wasn't for like heavy metal and wrestling, dude, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys.
Man, that's sick, man. That's
no, totally.
That's how you use something for good. I mean, that's wrestling is it is a way to get away. So is music. Music is like can make you feel so many like different emotions and stuff. I can get in a terrible mood and just put my headphones on and then just like I'm happy after, and it's crazy.
Well, real quick, before as we start to wind down here, what's with both of you guys? What's some of your favorite music?
We like all the old bands and stuff. We love all the old stuff, 80s and stuff like Metallica, Van Halen, Ted, like of course, but. I mean, being here, there's a lot of reggae, and so like I didn't like reggae at first, but now I'm kind of it's all that's on.
It really does grow on you.
Yeah, it grows on you big time. But some of my favorite bands, I love Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie
Ray. I never saw that guy fail. Like what I'm saying? Sometimes he was so fluid,
He couldn't even read music, man. It's amazing.
Right?
He was made for.
My dad shook his hand, and he said that his hand like wrapped around my dad has huge hands too.
Yeah.
His whole hand went around my dad's hand.
Guitarists have those strong fingers.
Yeah,
man.
He just said he had a grip like he's never seen.
Stevie Ray, man, another legend of Texas, man. Him and his brother Jimmy Vaughn too. And it was cool. Another group of brothers. They cut a record together, dude.
That's so sick, though.
You ever watch some of that old footage where, so Stevie would be jamming out, and then Jimmy come right behind him, and they're playing the same guitar, but they're doing different parts and stuff?
Sick.
It's insane.
I've never seen.
I almost put my phone out on YouTube.
I know.
Wait till this is over.
Dude. Yeah, check. All you gotta do is I'm trying to remember, and this is all stuff I just from memory that I'm pulling that because in high school and stuff, I was like really, really big on Stevie Ray. I knew a kid that growing up. We lived together and probably like in our 14 or 15, somewhere around there. And this kid would play Rude. I don't know if you know the song Rude Mood by Stevie Ray. It's just like, he was just insane. And this kid just rip it up. Just natural. Just listening
it sound
to
like it.
Oh yeah, dude. It's insane. And now he's a music teacher. I think he just got his master's and he's been teaching music forever, but he's like so versatile, like trombone, guitar, bass,
some people are just made
piano.
for it. Like we were saying with the voices, like some people really are just made to entertain and
Just musicians.
yeah, musicians.
Period. Yeah, every instrument. Like I love guitar and I dabble a little bit, but I feel like there's just like there's a peak where I'm not going to surpass.
He's pretty good at the guitar.
I'm decent.
Really?
But there's.
What are you playing? Are you playing electric or acoustic?
I play a little bit of both. I like acoustic. I like the just like those slow kind of like like Metallica, like Nothing Else Matters, the intro.
Yeah.
Of course, Stairway to Heaven, stuff like that. But just I dabble. Whatever sounds cool, I'll just like, oh, that's a cool little riff. I'll try to like play around with that, And
my Uncle Mike had like 5 or 6 guitars when he passed away, and then Ross inherited all of them, and he's like a Flying V.
Wow.
You know that
a nice Strat, like some sick stuff, an Ovation.
Yeah,
nice. Ovation's great. I had a great Ovation. You know what those guitars, they're actually made of, I forget what it's called. It's like Lyracore or something, but it's the same, that plastic on the back of an Ovation.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff they use in helicopter propellers.
What?
Are you serious?
That's
that
like,
so solid. Yeah,
it's been around. That guitar is like it's been around
indestructible.
So long.
It's like it's the one I play the most.
It's been dropped. The kids have like plucked the cords and stuff. It's been used, but he inherited those, and so he started playing. And then a lot of people don't know that my grandfather had a music scholarship to SMU. He played the flute.
The clarinet.
Really? Like Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. You guys like Jethro Tull or what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Aqualung.
Yeah, but it's so I play piano. He plays guitar. I play piano.
Nice.
And Ross
man.
sings like an angel. He's got the voice of an angel.
He always says that.
Give me a little
joke.
something. Come on, give me a little something.
Come on, leave me hanging. I sing for you, you sing for me.
Trust me,
He already sang for us.
Oh,
man.
I know. Actually,
He came in singing.
no. Honestly, if I could even remotely sing, everyone would know.
Yeah,
I would
we were
do
talking
it.
about
I would
that.
always do it.
It'd immediately go to my head.
Even if I was like a 5 on a scale from 1 to 10, I would still do it.
I'd be singing in drive-thrus, trying to get my food for free. I'd use it as much as I could.
I'm in that 2.2 range, probably.
You guys ever jam out together or what?
We play together and stuff. But we used to, like, when we were in high school. Now chat roulette's like a disgusting place. It's just like watching.
Oh wow! I haven't heard that in forever.
No, I know. That was like 8 years ago. I was it was right before we went to Japan, but we had like all my friends over, and that's what made us start jamming out together. We're trying to play for girls on there, and they would listen, and we would just like make our friends laugh and say stupid stuff. But he'd play guitar, and I'd play piano, and we'd sing, and that's what made us start playing together. I was like, hey, we sound pretty good.
Yeah, just messing around.
Yeah. Then my mom made it weird. One time we sang for her. She had cried, and I'm like, hey, let's not do this anymore. Let's do something manly. My mom cried.
Yeah, no, yeah.
We sang Kobe Calais, so it wasn't manly at all. Starts my toes and I crinkle my nose.
Such sick lyrics right there.
So, Mom, if you're into like Metallica or something, then we'll do it.
And then we'll talk.
What's the guy's favorite Metallica record?
I don't know, man. My dad usually blasts Metallica and
Pink Floyd,
and then who else was that song? Not Mr. Sandman. Sandman. Welcome to Sandman or
Enter
whatever it's
Sandman?
called.
Enter the Sandman. Yeah.
That is one of like the best intros I've ever heard.
Dub, dude. Tell me that.
I know,
guy,
man.
Yeah,
I'm so glad
I know.
somebody used that.
I can't hear that song without seeing Sandman smash.
Right,
beer over
smashing the
Sandman.
Budweiser,
Yeah.
smoking a
Yeah.
cigarette, dude. Like looking all pissed off. Like that was.
I know. I'm so happy he has the voice that you expect him to have. Like now, when you hear him talk.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You're not real, man.
Yeah,
He's a real thing.
That's like Coco Beware never had a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I had a quick story for you guys, real quick. I was in high school band. We went down to Disney World for marching band, and we were in the hotel. It was really weird. So me and shout out to my boy Ed Stojancevich. He's been on the show a few times. We're huge wrestling fans, and somehow I think our principal or somebody at the school found out that Coco Beware was in the hotel room, and they went and they taped up his door. Like, and then went and told us, yeah. So like, if he walked out, it would take him like 2 minutes to take this tape down, and what the
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they were trying to do, but they got us all up there like, oh, you guys like wrestling? Blah, blah, where's Coco Beware? We go up there, and I'm like, where's Frankie? He's like, oh,
Yeah.
Frankie's not here right now. I'm like, what do you mean he's not here right now? He's not with us.
He's in a different room.
But it was so cool. And then like I remember guys saying like, oh, we were walking around the park and saw Arn Anderson and stuff. I'm like, damn it. And I met Coco Beware. I like Coco, but I wanted to meet Arn Anderson,
Man, I remember I marked out pretty hard when I met Stan Hansen.
Oh,
I was at a
How can you not? Though?
I was at I think it was what is that show that Mexican restaurant we go to in Texas all the time?
Not El Chico.
I think it was El Chico.
El Chico.
I was over there and I was eating, and my wife is not a wrestling fan at all. But I saw Stan Hansen and I was just like, she's like, why are you getting all weird? I couldn't contribute to the conversation anymore, and I had that glaze. I wasn't listening to anything she was saying. I was just like, that's Stan Hansen. And I went over to introduce myself and stuff, but that was like one of the highlights of I don't usually get nervous when I meet a wrestler, but Stan Hansen, he was like the man,
Oh yeah.
Still is, dude. Still is.
He had tobacco coming out of his mouth. And I got 9 kids. I got a fat wife, and I got to feed them. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, they just knock your head off, dude.
Yeah, and he's like spitting all over their microphone and the announcer while he's talking. He was good stuff.
Strong as an ox, just manly as can be. Just
He's like the
epitomize of wrestling.
Well, one of the few guys that Bruiser Brody respected. Like you see Brody, like he obviously respected him when they wrestle, and so like that that alone was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You guys say outside of like maybe your dad or anybody in your family who your favorite wrestlers are?
Stan Hansen's definitely one of mine.
Yeah, I mean, we love, Misawa, Kobashi, all that like early 90s Japanese stuff, man.
And we love current, but also, he was a man back then, but not current. Like Great Muto, of course, but more
I love the Muda. Absolutely love him. And Kabuki, man.
Yeah,
Kabuki.
but more Fuji for pro wrestling, Noah and Kenta. Those guys are what really made us fall in love with Japanese wrestling, which made us do our history and learn about like Misawa and all of them. But it was actually Kenta and Morofuji, Segura, those guys that really made us like, man, this is not like wrestling I've ever seen before. These guys are like murdering each other and putting on like mouthpieces and stuff.
Murder clinics.
No, yeah. Our first show at Noah was crazy. Watching guys put mouthpieces in, like, why do they put mouthpieces in? And then they're forming each other and like spitting teeth out.
This isn't like wrestling back home that we've seen on TV.
Yeah,
this is different.
This is like, and the crowd's just quiet the whole time. They're just, and all you hear is just like an impact. Like back
it's like the bone on bone, just contact, like sound, and you're just like,
and then a headbutt. The guy grabs the guy's ears, and you hear like you hear it. He's like,
oh man,
skull on
two
skull
bricks hitting each other. Yeah, skull on skull. The whole crowd can hear it. It's like, what the heck, man? It was crazy.
Yeah, no, it made a huge impact on us. I think just having to be ringside for like 3 months straight and see that every night,
And that burnt into your brain.
it just burnt into your brain. I'm like, man, these guys are animals. They're just crazy.
Yeah.
They don't care, And when we're just young and new and just getting into it, it just made just like when you're into wrestling as a kid or something, like it just does something to you at that formative stage or something. Where you're just like, this is awesome.
It got
sticking to it.
It got a little serious though. The first 3 months we just watched them kill each other, and then the second 3 months they're like, oh, we have to fight them.
That's like back in the day when guys read on the board like, who we wrestling tonight? Oh, we got the Road Warriors. Oh shit.
Yeah,
I know. I would hate to see
I
that.
remember like the one guy you don't snap mirror and kick in the back is Kenta, not Kenta, Segura. Yeah, it's the one guy you don't do that to because he's gonna like forearm your head off. And
I was thinking so much about not doing that that's literally like
the first thing he did. I was laughing. And then in wrestling, I saw he started forearming Ross so bad and brought him to the corner and just like hitting his lifeless body. And in wrestling, if his tag partner walks to his partner, the referee is going to block you and give the guys longer time to beat your brother up. And so I was really going to try to break it up, like get off my brother. But the referee just like stood in front of me and wouldn't let me go. And they just like, he just did it even harder and more.
And then they had to restart the count. Meanwhile, I'm just taking these elbows.
Forearm blocks. They're yelling at the referee.
That's like, wait, let me get back out of the ring.
I know. Like, I'm a good boy. Just go. Watch what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, on that note, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. But before we end here, would you please kindly let everybody listening and watching know where they can find you guys at on social media, where they can score some merch at, and maybe where they can watch you at?
Yeah, well, if you want to get some merch, you can go to mlwshop.com. You can grab all your Von Erich merch. We're also on Pro Wrestling Tees at the Von Erich store. Follow us on Twitter, Marshall Von Erich.
At Ross Von Erich.
And then we on Instagram, we share Instagram because we're bad at it. So we're at Ram, Ross and Marshall Von Erich. We got our own Instagrams and we're both terrible at it. So together we make like a decent human being and Instagram. And even then, it's hard. Yeah, we post like once a month.
Even then, we're still just trying.
Yeah, I just got into Twitter. I'm actually starting to post stuff, and like I didn't use it for like 2 years.
Yeah, it's a weird beast to get into, man. Social media,
it is, yeah. If I get too into it though, like I was like, well, where'd the whole day go? And I get like all depressed and stuff. So I gotta go like every now and then. I just put my phone down for the day. But then I have messages. Everyone's mad at me, and I just pick one or the other.
It's a lose sometimes.
Yeah, you were cool the whole time though. I did a pretty lengthy. I didn't respond to him for a little bit. I was like, oh shoot, and I got back to you. But I remembered you because I got my calendar got deleted, so. I have podcasts all week, and a few people have gotten back, but I know there was more than what I have marked down. So
oh, yeah, I saw that, and I was like, shit, man. I was like, oh, shit, I hope he didn't forget. Like, it's like I said, it's like I don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, you got something else going on, it's cool, man. We reschedule, we do whatever. Like, I ain't the one, you know, to leave that sour taste in your mouth. You know, I hope you guys had a good time on the show.
We had an awesome time. This was awesome.
Yeah, man. This was one of our favorites for sure.
I love the MLW banner that's on the screen right now. That's sick. That's cool. The restarts.
Hell yeah. I can't wait for that. And when you guys are in Chicago, definitely, man, we'll have to go out and treat you to some deep dish pizza or something.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah, man.
That would be awesome.
Good Chicago food, man.
Love pizza.
Let us know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in this week, and make sure that you follow Ross and Marshall Von Erich on all social media. Be sure to watch them with MLW. You can catch them on MLW's YouTube channel right now, and the restart is coming. It's coming soon. You'll be able to get MLW anywhere, anytime, any place. That's right. Yeah, we're sweating the savage. This is the Juice saying, wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up. Oh yeah, I'm so wet for the Von Erich boys. It's insane.
I wish I could do that better.
Oh, my gosh. That was great. Man, that's sick.
You gonna do sex to me? Did you like that video? If so, be sure to hit like and subscribe and check out more killer content from your boys at Juice Pro Wrestling. Whoa, yeah!